Hello guys, welcome to my channel. V2 changes are finally out, so let's talk about them. We finally have a completed trigger kit. She has mindscapes and all that stuff now. She also received changes on top. Silver Soldier Anby also has received some changes, but not as much as trigger. So let's begin with Silver Soldier Anby first. Her changes are only in the mindscape, so we'll begin with mindscape 1. Whenever Silver Soldier Anby deals additional damage, she gains 100 decibels instead of 20. I believe the rest of this Mindscape 1 is exactly the same. Mindscape 2, Silver Soldier Anby additional attack damage is increased by 50% instead of 40%. I believe the rest of it is exactly the same. And lastly, her Mindscape 4, Silver Soldier Anby ignores now 25% of target electric resistance instead of 15% when dealing damage to enemies with an activated mark. So for Silver Soldier Anby, she didn't receive any changes, at least as of right now, in her base kit, but primarily only with mindscapes. And now let's talk about Trigger. Trigger did receive more significant changes compared to Silver Soldier Anby, including her base kit. Now she also has mindscapes. Her V-engine also has received some changes. Before I go all over that stuff, I would like to let you know that you can subscribe to this small channel if you'd like to support me. Thank you very much. And let's now continue with the video. So we'll begin first with her basic attack change. Originally, it was quite a long text, but don't worry, even the new version, it's still relatively long. I'll try my best to explain how this works. So basically, she enters a stance. She will shoot forward with her sniper rifle. You can move between the shots, and while you hit enemies in this mode, you will accumulate sniping points while she's within this stance, that is. Also, while she's within this stance, she can also accumulate 2 points instead, up to maximum of 6 points. And when she has 6 points, you will do an ultimate shot, and then she will trigger a special attack buff. As far as I remember, this special attack does the following thing. When any character in the party hits an enemy, the target stun damage multiplier is increased by 20%, I believe, and also the stun damage multiplier increase applied in this way takes effect both before and after the enemy enters the stun state. So I believe this should be the special attack buff from Trigger. Also, the buff stack limit increases based on the number of sniping points consumed, the more stacks you will have. Also, if you do repeatedly trigger this ultimate shot, it will not refresh the duration of this special attack buff, but it does refresh its maximum stack limit. Now let's go over her skill. It also did receive some changes. Now it grants all teammates affected by trigger special attack to call trigger points. As far as I remember, call points are generated by her teammates. Meanwhile, sniping points are generated by Trigger. Her ultimate did also receive a change as well. Besides the name change, now it instantly grants teammates the Trigger special attack buff, equivalent to consuming 6 sniper points. So if you use her ultimate, you will get that stun damage multiplier up to the fullest right away, which is pretty cool. Her additional ability has also been completely reworked. No longer she is based on crit rate, because she used to scale off crit rate to get more days out of it. That has been completely removed. But like I said, crit stuff was completely removed. Trigger additional attack now accumulates 15% more days. And additionally, when trigger impact exceeds 130 points, every additional points increases additional attack by 1%, up to maximum increase of 20%. So having more impact on her is going to be very important. I believe her base impact stat at max level should be 131. So you will definitely want to have also V-engine with impact main stat drive this 6 impact stat. The more you can get it, the better it's going to be. Personally, I believe this change is okay, because now you have more options with her V-engine. Before it was just her signature with crit, similar to what Miyabi's situation was with her crit scaling anomaly V-engine. That was the only anomaly V-engine with crit. So this issue has been solved, at least for Trigger. So now you have more options to choose from many impact V engines, which you will benefit from with this passive. Speaking of her V engine, it did receive some buffs, so it's quite much better now. Personally, I think it was already strong, but now it's stronger even more. Now our V engine reduces defense by 25% instead of 20, and also the impact percentage has been increased from 3% to 5%, and the damage increased from 3 to 10%, and it stacks up to 8 layers. That's a lot. So you can effectively get with her V engine 40% impact and also damage boost up to 80%. So this V engine is still very, very, very powerful, but at least you have more options to choose from now because she doesn't scale off crit rate with her passive as before. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, Trigger also finally has mindscapes now, so let's go over that stuff as well. Her mindscape 1, the day's vulnerability effect per stack of Trigger special attack is increased by 5%, and the initial call points required for teammates to activate Trigger additional attacks are reduced to 8 points. So mindscape 1 will allow you to get her special attack buff up faster and also increase further vulnerability, which is pretty good. Her mindscape 2, X special attack now grants teammates 4 points of call, and when X special attack hits enemies not in a day state, its day's accumulation is increased by 15%. Interesting. I mean, the first part I think it's pretty good, but the second part, just X special attack having an increased accumulation by 15% in itself, is it that good? Because it's just X special attack. It doesn't increase her day's accumulation for anything else. Perhaps it is better than I think, but from my initial impression, it doesn't seem as impressive as Mindscape 2. I might be wrong. If I am, feel free to correct me in the comments down below. Mindscape 4, upon activating an additional attack, restores 4 energy. So I assume this is for any additional attack within the team, not just for Trigger herself. If that's the case, she will get a lot of energy with this if you play a full or most of your teammates having additional attacks. And lastly, her Mindscape 6, while she's in her basic attack crouch sniping thingy or landing an additional attack on an enemy, teammates in the Trigger special attack buff state will deal 45% increased damage to that enemy for 5 seconds. I assume this buff refreshes or something like that, but it's probably gonna end up being very good, or they will change it, because generally Mindscape 6 for limited rate up characters always end up being very strong, of course. But I believe Trigger already with her signature, and maybe potentially also where Mindscape 1 seems to be already super strong, and honestly even at base kit, assuming she has the numbers, which very likely she will have, will end up being very strong. My biggest question for Trigger is going to be, as we go forward, how good is Trigger going to be outside of Silver Soldier Anby teams? Can we use her as a best in slot stunner for some older teammates as well or not? Time will tell, because I definitely would like to see Trigger having more flexibility, and if she does have, that would be very nice, very good stuff. So these are pretty much the V2 changes. As we get more information, I will cover that as well. If you have any questions or would like to add anything yourself, feel free to write it within the comments down below. And of course, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a like, smile. If not, you can dislike. I also do stream every single day on Twitch/YouTube. You can drop by if you just want to talk with me, smile. And yeah, this is it. I wish you a wonderful day and see you in the next video.